that Demdike came here to communicate and do her deals with the devil.
The mere mention of Pendle Hill conjures up images of mystery, magic, and of course, the world's most famous witches.
I feel like we're being watched.
Spirits here. What the fuck? Over there. You want us to leave?
You better. Help me.
You touch one of them pans on there, please. Whoa, what was that?
Kicked the nail and managed to slit the throat.
Wow. Wow. Oh! Oh! No, my God.
That's cool. Chemistry is doing this.
Like, bring it on.
Look at crying, but in the same voice it said help.
Run.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Ground Paranormal channel. For all those who are new, I'm Leighton. That's Paul. Hello. There's Michael. There's Joanne.
Hi.
And tonight we return to Pendle Hill for the Halloween special. Ooh, can you join me with a ooh, you know, like a oh God. So yeah, tonight our first spot for tonight is, what would you even call it? It's just literally on a long path where supposedly one of the witches, or all the witches, crossed. The Witch's Path. That's the title for location one. And for the history, I'm going to pass you over to one of UK's best historians, that's the right word, isn't it? Yeah. Historians, Simon Entwistle.
I'd like to warmly welcome you to one of the most famous stories in Great Britain, the story of the Pendle Witches. Now, we are in an area known simply as the Forest of Pendle. And way back in 1612, this area would have been very, very isolated, away from habitation, etc. At that period of time, we'd just lost Queen Elizabeth I, and she was a lady that led by example, loved by the people of Great Britain. When she died, she was replaced by a completely different character called King James VI of Scotland, who then became King James I of England. Now, this man was absolutely paranoid about witches. He not only believed that witches existed, he believed they were actually out to get him. On becoming King of England, he wrote a book, you can buy that book today from any leading bookshop, called the Demonology Book. And as you pick it up, how to find a witch, how to try a witch, and most importantly, how to eradicate a witch. Throughout the whole length of Great Britain, the area behind me was known simply as the Forest of Pendle. A huge forest which traversed to the left and to the right and right round the world-famous Pendle Hill. Living deep in that forest, away from society, were a group of people that were going to go down in history as the Pendle Witches. Who were they? Well, two of the most famous ones were very, very elderly ladies, over 85 years old. Life expectancy for that period of time would have been, would you believe, 35. So these two women had defied the laws of nature. One was called Elizabeth Southern, commonly known as Demdike. Another was called Anne Whittle, commonly known as Chattox. These two women hated each other with a vengeance, because in the winter months they both begged of people that made their way to the Forest of Pendle. In the summer months they'd make herbal remedies, and of course lots of modern medicines come from herbs, etc. And many people believe that these two women were indeed herbalists. They knew about various plants. In the case of Elizabeth Southern, she lived deep in the Forest of Pendle in a small cottage called Malkin Tower. Malkin Tower sounds great, doesn't it really? But it would have been a hovel of a building. She had lost her husband, but she had a daughter called Elizabeth Device, and she had 3 children, James, Alison and Jeanette Device. They lived at Malkin Tower. Anne Whittle lived in the village of Newchurch in Pendle with her daughter Anne Redfern. These were the main Pendle Witches, but many more names will come into our story before we finish it. And our story really starts on the 18th of March 1612, when Alison Device left Malkin Tower. Alison is around 14 years of age, and she walked along the length of Pendle Hill towards the town of Combe. There she had the misfortune, and it really was misfortune, of meeting a Halifax peddler called John Law. When I say peddler, John Law was basically a walking salesman. Large pack in his back, full of 1612 luxuries, who'd make his way to the village of Downham, where we are now, to Blacko, to Newchurch, into Barley, and it was a bit like a walking newspaper. He would give us information from each village to each village. He met young Alison. Alison begged of him, "Oh, please, sir, you can spare a few pins to pin me clothing together, sir. Get away with you. I'm not taking me pack off for you, lass. You got no money. You're no use to me. Please, sir, you can spare just a few pins, sir." According to John Law, the Halifax peddler, out of the mist, out of the heather, appeared a huge black dog with snarling white teeth and glowing red eyes, and the dog sat next to Alison. The dog turned to look at Alison, and the dog talked. "Alison, I can lame him for you. Lame him," she screamed. Law felt this terrible pain on his left arm, left leg, and collapsed at the far end of Pendle Hill in agony. He lay there for a good 5 hours. The kind people of the town of Cone in North Pendle could see him. They got a stretcher team together. They carried him down the slopes of Pendle Hill and into an old inn called the Greyhound Inn, which is long since gone. There the landlord, Jonathan Edwinson, spoon-fed him, cleaned him, and as Law's voice returned, he shouted, "I've been cursed! There's a witch in the forest, a young lass with a dog. I swear to you, I heard the dog talk. She's in league with devil. Send letters back to my family." Letters were sent back to Halifax, and John Law's eldest son, Abraham, received the first letter. "Here, my father's in trouble. I'd better go and collect him." Set off from Halifax, arrived in Cone, and saw his father in this terrible, twisted and contorted state. "Father, what's happened to you, man? You look terrible." "Abraham, I've been cursed. I met a young lass in the forest. She's got a dog. I swear to you, the dog talks. She's in league with devil. She's a witch, lad. I want you to go and find her. Bring her here, reverse the curse." Well, Abraham must have been quite a brave lad. He set off and walked deep into the forest of Pendle and came across this little cottage called Malkin Tower. He hammered on the door opened, and there was James Devise, Alison's brother. "Can I help you, sir?" "I want to see Alison Devise. My father wants to see her. Where is she?" "In here, sir." Alison came to the door. "Right, lass, you're coming with me," shouted Abraham. Against her wishes, she was dragged down the slopes of Pendle Hill and into the old Greyhound Inn, where she made eye contact with John Law. Law looked up from his sickbed. "It's you! You're the witch! You cursed me, lass, didn't you, that dog you had? I heard it talk. You're in league with devil." This 14-year-old girl, on bended knees, begged and begged and begged forgiveness. She had no idea. She just confessed to a state capital offence of witchcraft. And strange enough, John Law, the Halifax peddler, was about to forgive her, but not his son Abraham. "Oh no, we'll have you for this. I'm gonna go and get magistrate." And in doing so, he opened the 1612 Pendle Witch Trials. The local magistrate was called Roger Noel. He lived in the village of Reed near Burnley, which is just over there, and Noel was in charge of the whole area. He also had his book of demonology and was fully aware of the king's paranoia, and he knew if he could incriminate this young girl, he was going to carry favour with none other than the King of England, King James himself. He had Alison arrested. She was brought to Reed Hall, where for the second time inside 24 hours this young girl burst into tears and begged forgiveness, but she gave Roger Noel a lot more information. "My grandmother, she's a witch. So is Bessie Chattox and her daughter Anne Redfern. We have familiars, sir." "Familiars," said Roger Noel. "Sir, we have dogs. Tib, Ball, Fancy, Dandy. They belong to the four of us, sir. They came to different times of our lives, sir, and said, 'Look, we can give you special powers, but in return, we need to suckle from your flesh and take your souls.' We also, sir, go to Newchurch Cemetery. We have taken hair. We have taken teeth off corpses, sir. We make clay pictures." "Clay pictures," said Roger Noel. "Yes, sir. A doll made of clay, but with human hair, human teeth. We then select a victim, sir. We crumble the clay picture over the fire, sir, and people die, sir." Well, Roger Noel was not frightened. He was actually delighted. He had a confession. And it's the next area we shall now make our way to for part 2 of this incredible story So welcome to part 2 of the Pendle Witch story. Remember, young Alison Device has been arrested. She's been sent to Reed Hall, Birmingham, and been interrogated by Roger Noel, the local magistrate, who's responsible for the whole area. She has indeed mentioned that her grandmother is a witch. She's mentioned that Bessie Chattox is a witch, and her daughter Anne Redfern. So therefore, Roger Noel gives orders to the sheriffs of the forest to arrest Anne Redfern, Anne Whittle and Elizabeth Southern. They are brought to Reed Hall, Birmingham, where they meet young Alison, and this huge argument erupts. They all try and blame each other. Now there's no love between Demdike and Chattox. They hate each other, so they try and put the blame on each other. But in doing so, they've actually admitted to witchcraft, which is a state capital offence. The four of them are then sent over the beautiful Trough of Bowland to the city of Lancaster, where they were thrown into what we call the Well Tower, this deep, deep underground dungeon in the grounds of Lancaster City Castle, which is still there to this very day. As you walk down the stairs into that jail, the light behind you fades and you're in a world of darkness. You are chained to the floor, and there they are going to wait for 4.5 very long months. In the meantime, Elizabeth Devise is very worried about her mother, Demdike. She's very worried about her daughter, Alison, and she organises what has gone down in history as the Good Friday meeting deep in the forest of Pendle at Malkin Tower. Now, no one seems to know the exact location of Malkin Tower, but many people, myself included, believe it was in this area here, which is not too far from Barley and Blackwell. You can imagine it was like a scene from a Shakespeare play as Alison's brother James slaughtered the sheep from the fells here. They dined on fresh mutton. They got a large cooking vessel called a cauldron and lit a fire beneath the cauldron. The black sepa liquid inside began to bubble and steam, and into that black bubbling liquid went crushed, powdered human teeth and the odd clay pitcher. The whole idea, apparently the Good Friday meeting, was to get a potion together to blow the gates of Lancaster City Castle open and rescue their loved ones. However, nothing happened. What did happen is word of the Good Friday meeting reached the ears of Roger Noel, the local magistrate, and he gave orders that every single person who'd attended the Good Friday meeting should be arrested immediately. When word filtered into the forest of Pendle here, 2 people thought, there's no way we're hanging around. Christopher Howgate and his wife Barbara. They escaped from the area, but in doing so they saved their lives. The ones that were successfully arrested at the Good Friday meeting were Jeanette Preston. Jeanette came from Gisborne, West Yorkshire, not too far from here, along with Alice Gray and indeed Anne Folds, and of course along with James Devise, Jeanette Devise and Elizabeth Devise, Alice Nutter of Roughly, and also very, very sad situation of indeed John and Jane Bulcock. They were a mother and son. They were farmers from the area. They were all sent to Lancaster, with the exception of the 2 Jeanettes. Jeanette Devise, she was only 9 years old. She was sent to live with the local magistrate, Roger Noel, and for the first time in her life, she had 3 meals a day, a lovely warm bed to sleep in, and also nice clothes to wear. The other Jeanette Preston of Gisborne, was sent to the city of York because she came from the West Riding of Yorkshire. Her husband went with her, villagers went with her, and they begged for her release. The judges said, I'm sorry, the king has signed her death warrant before she even arrived, and she was found guilty of witchcraft and attending the Good Friday meeting here in Lancashire, but also the murder of her employer, Mr. Thomas Lister. She'd been nursing him. He had died, she wrapped his body in a clean white sheet ready for burial, and 2 days before the burial, she touched the sheets and some fresh blood came for the sheeting. This was classed as witchcraft. She made a plea of not guilty, but was found guilty and became the very, very first of the Pendle Witches to be executed on the 27th of July, 1612, in the city of York. In the meantime, the other Jeanette, she's gone to the home of Roger Noel. The king is absolutely delighted. Remember, he's paranoid about witchcraft. He believes that witches are out to personally get him. He also has no love for the Catholic faith. He's a Protestant, and he associates Catholicism and witchcraft as the same thing. The gunpowder plot, of course, which nearly took his life in 1605. So he gets this letter of Roger Noel, the local magistrate, and he is delighted. Sir, I have witches waiting to be tried in the city of Lancaster. The king was delighted. He sent 2 circuit judges, James Altham, Edmund Bromley, and a young boy called Thomas Potts, and that's why we're here today. Because in 1613, Thomas Potts wrote a book called The Wonderful Discovery of Witches in Lancashire, which has become an international bestseller. We have to rely on that book being honest, we have to rely on that book being truthful, but what we do know is it will be written under some duress because no one dared take on the King of England. The trials began in August of that year. In the case of Demdike, commonly known as Elizabeth Southern, she died before the trials began. However, under interrogation, she admitted to making the clay effigies. She admitted to having a dog called Dandy that gave her special powers, and she admitted this dog actually asking her to make these clay pictures. In other words, she incriminated herself. First person brought up from the cells that day was none other than Anne Whittle, commonly known as Bessie Chattox. She was in a terrible, terrible state of health, falling in and out of consciousness. She'd been lying in her own waste for 4.5 months, but she was found guilty of the murder of 5 local people. John and Anne Moore, Hugh and Blaise Hargreaves, and indeed the murder of John Devise, who was of course related to the Devise family. And she freely admitted this in the hope that her daughter Anne Redfern would be forgiven. Her daughter Anne Redfern was brought up and she was found guilty of the murder of Robert Nutter by witchcraft. As it happened, when James Devise came to court, he too was in a terrible state of health, lapsing in and out of consciousness, and had to be carried in by 2 warders. But he admitted to the murder of Anne Townley, and indeed John Duckworth, and indeed Hugh and Blaise Hargreaves from Gulshaw Booth, a village not too far from where we are now. But he self-incriminated himself, and he almost incriminated his whole family. It was classed as a bit of a dimwit, really. But he certainly believed that he had these powers, and freely admitted them as well. Alison Devise was brought into court, and Alison, she was convinced that she had indeed lamed John Law, the Halifax peddler. John Law was brought into court, and the judges said, "Could you reverse the curse, please, on this man? Only my grandmother can do that, sir, and she has died, sir." But she freely admitted to actually being a witch, and she would go to her death, probably with a smile on her face. Then came Catherine Hewitt of Combe. Catherine admitted to the murder of Anne Foles of Combe by witchcraft. But there were 3 people in the court that day which many people feel may not have been as guilty as we expected, and we shall have their story in part 3. So welcome to part 3 of the Pendle Witch story. Remember, the Good Friday meeting has taken place. The accused are now waiting to be tried. The last person brought up before this rather brave lady, Alice Nutter, and John and Jane Bulcock, was indeed Elizabeth Devise. As she was brought into court, she saw her daughter Jeanette looking quite plump, really. Jeanette had been living with the local magistrate. She had a nice white dress on, a blue bonnet. She had eaten very well, and she was picked up by Roger Noel and put on top of the desk. And there she shouted to the jury, "My grandmother's a witch, my mother's a witch, so's my brother, so's my sister." Her mother shouted, "Stop it, Jeanette, you don't know what you're saying. Have my mother moved the court, sir, she's upsetting me, sir." And in her absence, her mother was found guilty of the murder of John and Josh Robinson, and indeed Henry Mitten of this very village, roughly. Waiting in the court that day were John and Jane Bulcock, a mother and son, and this lady here, Alice Nutter. What made these 3 so different to the other so-called witches was the fact that they had made pleas of not guilty, and all 3 of them had jobs. In the case of John and Jane, they owned a farm at Blackhoe, very near where we are now. And in the case of this lady here, she lived in a beautiful, beautiful house called Roughly Old Hall, which is still with us this very, very, very day. It's a Grade 1 listed building in beautiful, beautiful condition. It shows you just how wealthy this lady was. Now, In 1612, women were not allowed to possess a brain, and it was believed by some men that women didn't even have a brain. And when it came to male chauvinism, women suffered terribly in this country. So Roger Noel is absolutely delighted with the way things are going. However, he has another problem. That problem being Alice Nutter, John and Jane Bulcock. All three of them owned land, and all three of them were quite professional, really. In court, all three of them had made pleas of not guilty. And the jury were more or less on their sides until Roger Noel picked up the little girl, Jeanette Devise, and put her on the desk for the second time. And said, Jeanette, these three people here, John and Jane Bulcock and Alice Nutter, were they at your home on Good Friday, 1612, Forest of Pendle? They were, sir. A look of shock and horror came across their faces as they realised, on the evidence of this little girl, they were being incriminated. However, all three of them made pleas of not guilty. However, the court found them guilty of attending the Good Friday meeting at Malkin Tower, and also of committing acts of witchcraft. In the case of John and Jane Bulcock, they were found guilty of the murder of a girl called Jean Mead of Harrogate by turning her completely insane. In the case of Alice, she was found guilty of aiding Demdike and Alison Devise in the murder of Henry Mitten of Ruffley, because he wouldn't give her a penny. In court, she wouldn't need to beg. She was a woman of wealth. Her home is still here in the village of Ruffley Hall. It just shows how wealthy she was. Now, quite a few historians believe that there's another story to Alice, and that is the land dispute story. Apparently her fencing was being pushed back, stone walls were being pushed back, and she was losing cattle and sheep. In 1612, women were not allowed to complain. It was believed by some men that women didn't even have a brain, and when it came to male chauvinism, women suffered terribly in this country. It has been said, but never confirmed, that Alice complained to Roger Noel, who did nothing at all. So therefore she made her way to Lancaster, and she walked into a court session to the words of, "It's a woman, get her out." She would not let go of her grip in the furniture, and the judges said, look, let her have her say. In one day, Alice Nutter won all her land disputes fairly and squarely, but as she left the city of Lancaster that day, there was a fuming Roger Noel. How dare this woman go over my head? How dare she go over my head? I need revenge. I need to get rid of her. How can I get rid of her? His star witness, and that star witness was none other than little Jeanette Devise, the little girl from Malkin Tower. For the second time that morning, she was picked up, put on top of the desk in front of the jury of all males. And there he said, look, these three people here, John and Jane Bulcock, Alice Nutter, were they at the Good Friday meeting at Malkin Tower, at your home in the Forest of Pendle? They were, sir. And that evidence incriminated them. They made pleas of not guilty. They were then led to the pillory at Lancaster, their hands tied behind their backs. Watching that day was young Jeanette Devise holding the hand of Roger Noel, the local magistrate. She watched the ropes being placed around their necks. As the rope was placed around Alice's neck, she very bravely turned and saw Roger Noel and shouted, "I shall haunt you for the rest of your life." Then the stools were kicked up underneath them. These poor people did not hang, they strangled to death. Watching that day was young Jeanette. She saw her whole family die. She saw the inhabitants of Colne, the three landowners, die. And as soon as their bodies stopped twitching, Noel said, "Goodbye." "What do you mean goodbye?" "Surely go back to that lovely warm house of yours, sir. Goodbye." He'd used her. She made the long journey back here to the Forest of Pendle, to a cold and empty cottage, knowing full well her evidence had claimed the entire lives of her family, the inhabitants of Colne, and the three landowners. We know she lived because 3 years later she was rearrested on a charge of witchcraft. Of course, with her family reputation, this was taken very, very seriously. She was sent to the city of Lancaster, down to London, stripped naked, looked at by physicians, back to Lancaster, down to London, and after 3 years of constantly travelling up and down the country, the young boy that said he'd seen her commit acts of witchcraft, a young boy called Edmund Robinson, suddenly said, "Actually, I made it all up." So you could say that witchcraft, or the superstition surrounding it, absolutely destroyed that young girl's life. As for Roger Noel, well, he became the High Sheriff of Lancashire with a huge increase in wages. The 2 circuit judges, James Altham, Edmund Bromley, were knighted. Thomas Potts, the reason why we're here today, wrote this book called The Wonderful Discovery of Witches in Lancashire, which earned him a fortune. Were they witches? Well, according to His Majesty's government, they were all convicted witches. However, I do have a lot of sympathy for Alice here, because I feel she was totally innocent of the crimes against her. Welcome to part 4 of the Pendle Witch story. We're in the very, very epicentre of the story now. We're in Newchurch in Pendle, the home of Anne Whittle and her daughter Anne Redfern, commonly known as Bessie Chattox. Now, we mentioned that young Jeanette Devise told the court about crimes that had taken place at Malkin Tower, where these little clay dolls were made with human hair and human teeth. Where did that human hair come from, the teeth? Well, here in Newchurch Cemetery itself. It's said that Chattox came across her familiar fancy that appeared first of all in the shape of a boy with a grey coat on, that turned into a dog, and then could turn into a cat, etc. So we're very, very much in the centre of our story. Now, as well as the Pendle Witches, there were a group of people known as the Samlesbury Hall Witches. Samlesbury Hall is a beautiful Tudor building not too far from where we are now. In the next cell to the Pendle Witches were Jane Southworth and her 2 best friends, the Brearley sisters. They were twins. Jane heard this huge roar on the 20th of August 1612, and she climbed onto the shelter of her 2 friends and looked out of the grille of her cell at Lancaster. There she could see the Pendle Witches in a long line standing on trestles. She then heard this huge roar and saw the trestles being kicked up underneath them. For a girl of 20 years old, this must have been terribly traumatic. She then heard the sounds of footsteps that got louder and louder and louder. A key was placed in the cell door opened, and there was Mr. Thomas Cavell, the head jailer of Lancaster City Castle. "Right, you 3, just dealt with that lot, it's your turn next. Follow me." The 3 of them must have felt terrified, in particular Jane, who just witnessed the executions. They made them at the twisting staircase and into the corpse that had just dispatched the Pendle Witches. They stood in front of James Altham, Edmund Bromley, Thomas Potts, Roger Noel, William Holden and John Bannister. The same jury, which consisted just of men. Women, in that period of time, were not allowed to sit in juries. The 3 of them made their way into the building and stood in front of James Altham and Edmund Bromley. They brought in another child witness, a little girl called Gracie Salberts. Grace was only 7 years old. She was picked up, put on top of the desk, just like Alison had been, young Jeanette Devise had been in the morning. And the judges said, "Right, young lady, we'd have your testimony against these witches." "I will, sir." "I was walking along the banks of the River Ribble. It was a beautiful hot summer's day, sir. I saw Jane Southworth and the 2 Brearley sisters swimming in the river, sir. I then saw these dogs. I've never seen the breed before, sir. Huge backs, long noses, cloven hooves. They jumped into the river. They materialised into human beings, sir. Slightly dark-skinned human beings. They picked up all 3 women, danced in a circle, paired off for a meal. I then watched from a distance, sir, as fraternisation was taking place with these demonic spectres. On the 2nd day, Ellen Brearley came to see me. Sir, she changed from a woman into a dog and tried to suffocate me under a blanket of straw, but I escaped, sir. On the 3rd day, I was met by Jane Southworth and the 2 sisters again, sir. They said, "Gracie, would you like to have a bit of fun?" I said, "What do you mean, fun?" "Well, at Samlesbury Hall, a little boy's just been born, of the name of Thomas Walshman." "So?" said Gracie. "We'd like to drink his blood." No, I don't want to get involved in that," said Grace. Sir, in the dead of night, they made their way to Samlesbury Hall. They picked up the little boy from his cot, sir. They pricked his stomach over 4 nights, sir, consumed his blood, and he died, sir. James Altham picked up the gavel. "We find you guilty, witch, and you'll die like the rest." Before the gavel came down, his companion Bromley said, No. Let her finish her testimony." Sir, in the dead of night, they came back to the cemetery. They dug up the coffin, sir. They took the baby out of the coffin. They boiled the baby's flesh. They ate the flesh and kept some body fats to enable them to change shape, sir. That was it. This time it was Bromley who brought the gavel up. Right, we find you guilty, which you'll die like the rest this morning. Before the gavel came down, Jane pulled off the miracle. Sir, I beg of you, sir, to cross-examine this young girl, sir. She's been manipulated by a Catholic priest hiding at Salisbury Hall, sir. Just that one word, Catholicism, made the judges sit back. You're an Anglican, you say? I am, sir. I'm married into the Southworth family, sir. They've never liked me because of my Anglican views, sir. This young girl's being manipulated by a Catholic priest to falsely incriminate me and my two friends, sir. Please cross-examine her. That word, Catholicism, seems to have turned the tables. They took Gracie next door. You can imagine Jane and the two Brearley sisters must have felt on tenterhooks. Would they live? Would they die? A while later, the court was reassembled. James Altham, Edmund Bromley, Thomas Potts, Roger Noel, William Holden and John Bannister. In the light of new evidence, we find you, James Southworth, Eugene and Ellen Brearley, innocent of the crimes against you. You are free to go. The three of them hugged each other. They jumped for joy. They'd survived the noose. Sir Richard Southworth arrived from Salisbury Hall to pick up all three women to take them back to the hall. As Jane turned, she saw the city of Lancaster. She saw the pillory. She saw the Pendle Witches hanging and blowing in the wind. At the end of the pillory, she saw 3 empty nooses and realised she had not only saved her life, but the lives of her 2 friends as well. But the story, in many ways, is just beginning. For over hundreds of years, people have argued between the Pendle Witches and the Salisbury Hall Witches. And in the year 1805, in the village of Worley near Clitheroe, 2 local doctors sat round a roaring fire. Dr. Whittaker, Dr. Dawson. And Dawson said to Whittaker, I believe the Pendle Witches were probably telling the truth, and indeed the Salisbury Hall Witches. How? Well, this young girl, Grace Sarberts, she mentioned she'd seen these dogs that looked very like Tib, Ball, Fancy, belonging to Demdike, Chattox and Redfern. I believe they're the dogs she saw that day, but also let's get permission from the Church of England to exhume the Walsham grave. They wrote to York Minster, and York Minster dispatched a priest by the name of Reverend John Franks, and under Church of England supervision, they found the grave, and they started to dig. Just 3 feet beneath the surface, they came across a lozenge-shaped child's coffin. It was opened under Church of England jurisdiction and found to contain absolutely nothing. Who knows? Young Gracie Sarberts may just have been telling the truth. We shall never, ever know.
Michael, we are here at, as what you like to call it, the witches path. Yeah. Beneath the witches path, just over a wall here, is, you know, so there's a fire pit, a bunch of trees. It's very eerie. What are your thoughts?
Since we've got here, there's some messed up things. I would like to tell you, but it's unbelievable. You wouldn't believe us unless you was there.
Ah, okay. Yeah, you're on about the horrendous thing that would happen to us when we first arrived.
Basically, we was in the woods. Not these woods, a whole different woods. All of a sudden, we just heard thunder, lightning, hailstone, rain, just above us. As we was talking about going further down to do some kind of something to do it, but it started doing that. But the minute we said, you know what, it's best if we just go back, and the minute we turned right around, it stopped. I mean, it just stopped.
Just that thin air just disappeared.
I did ring up a couple of people who was around this area, and they said they heard nothing, didn't see nothing.
So you're ready for tonight? That's the real question.
Oh yeah.
What was that? Yeah, what was that? Yeah, no, what was that? Michael, go pick it. Can you touch one of them pans on there, please? Whoa, what was that? Did you hear it?
Yeah.
That was some sort of laughing. I really hope I picked that up for the wind. I know it's a bit windy, but I really hope we picked that up. Wow. Right. I don't know if I caught that, but you just said that you feel like feel like we're
We do.
being
I
watched?
feel like we're being watched. Yeah.
And how long have we been here?
But is it-
15 minutes? Something
But
around
it
there.
feels like quite calm. Is it calm before the storm? But I do feel like we're being watched in all different directions.
I mean, earlier on, I kind of mentioned about seeing some sort of shadow man thing over there. What's it called again? The guy, lumberjack. Further on down in that direction over there. Michael has also claimed that he keeps seeing shadows over in that direction also, and you too, Joanne. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're currently just waiting for Paul to return to base, and then we are going to start tonight's investigation. We are recording. Here we go.
Can you not just like open your belly up a bit?
Fire time at Camp Base 1. The witches, well, can we get it? That's the real question. That's what I said to you. Can we get it? No, oh, it's gone out.
Use my language.
And we're on.
Some paper over it.
Here we go. Right, so we're about to call out to start tonight's investigation around the cosy fire. And let's see if we can communicate with any of the Pendle Witches. If there's any spirits here, what the fuck? Over there. Something's just flashed. I'm pretty sure I got it on camera.
It might be a reflection of fire or...
Not here, like
Oh,
there.
yeah, further over?
Yeah, like down there. Like further down there. Not like where the pots of pans were. No, there. Is that landing? Yeah.
No, that's alright.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You can get closer, Paul.
No, it's alright.
So if there's any spirits here, any of the witches, yeah, I know. Yeah, just in case, I do apologise for the wind. If you do hear it,
There's the winds.
now that was caught on camera, and now you are never living that down.
There's a duck just ran past over there, alright.
You're never living that down. Joanne's got Clitoris Castle. Paul's got that.
We did
Yeah,
apologise
that.
for the wind.
It's just me and Michael who are scot free.
Is there any spirits here?
Yeah, so far.
If so, can you come forward and talk to us? Give us a sign.
Shall we call out our names?
Yeah, well, Michael.
I'm Michael.
I'm Paul.
I'm just going to lift down my back.
I'm Leighton.
And
I'm not sure if my face were actually in that then, but oh well, we're going to run with it.
Spirit, could you please make some noise if you're here and you'd like to communicate with us? A thud. A cackle. Even knock on a tree 2 times to let us know you want to communicate.
Oh,
an apple flat board.
Alice Nutter, over here.
Dead dark here.
how inconvenient is that, Paul? How inconvenient? There's always one who doesn't put the phone on flight mode.
Just literally put it on flight mode now because I forgot to do it.
What have you got to say to yourself, honestly? What have you actually got to say for yourself? That's what I thought. Anyway.
Everybody's here. Any spirits?
Oh, hello, nearly fell over in mud. Is it Alison? Is it Alison device or Alison? Alison device. If you're here and you would like to communicate, please come forward and make your presence known. We're not here. Known, not no, known. We're not here to harm you in any way. We just want to communicate and we just want to hear your side of the story. Again, guys, big apologies for the wind tonight. It has just all of a sudden picked up. And it's absolutely freezing. It's boggy, cold, freezing, but we're still here.
Hailstorm, we've had thunderstorm.
Oh wow, that's picking up, man, mad. It's quite...
I don't think it's going to be a late one tonight if it's like this.
Eh?
It's not going to be a late one.
No.
But, you know, building.
Oh.
I can breathe here.
What types of communication can we get without any equipment? Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, I mean, especially when it's like this.
When it's like this, it's like,
Yeah.
you know,
Jesus Christ. Whoa. Eh?
or is it because
To be fair, yeah, it was forecasted to rain, and the rain and wind until 8 o'clock. 7:20.
feels like wet hot,
Yeah. Oh my god. That's strong, that's strong.
Picked up, hasn't it?
Yeah, like,
eh?
that's dramatically picked up that.
Yeah.
But again, in that video, did you see it? So the video that Joanne put in the group, in the chat, as soon as they started, the wind again picked up really, really horrendously. But again, it's just the weather, innit? It's one of them. It's yeah. So I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's get some kids out, shall we? And see if we can get anything through that.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just put it on the table, kick it off wet corner.
Yeah, alright, good shout. So yeah, let's put some equipment out. Right. So. Hey, right, come on, right, you're right. Joanne and Paul are off to go and find some more sticks for the fire. But it's just getting colder and colder. Equipment, I've got the REM pod. This is the REM pod. Touch sensor device. All you've got to do is go up to it like that. There you go. And then we've got an EVP recorder. Now an EVP recorder is in other words, this is a way to communicate with the other side with hearing their voices through a device like this right here. This is a taped device, which is a lot more accurate than your normal. Oh, REM pod. Thank you. What is that?
I don't know.
Yeah, but that sounds dodgy, that.
Yeah, it might be shaking wood or something.
Oh, 2 lights. Thank you, Spirit. If you're one of the witches, please can you step away from this device. If you're one of the witches, please can you step away from this device. Can you please step away? Oh, thank you. Currently setting the fire back up now. As I was saying before, an EVP device is a way of communicating with spirits. You can hear their voices or any messages that they have through this device here. Oh yeah, also guys, the camera stand and the gimbal has died. It's fully charged. I'm making sure it's fully charged, and it's lasted about 30 minutes and it's already died. So I'm just having to record with my hand. So if you do see my hand in the video, I do apologise. That's fine. Spirits. If you're one of the spirits of the Pendle Witches, can you go up and touch that device again for us, please? It's not going to harm you in any way. It's just going to let us know that you want to communicate. All you've got to do is go up and touch the antenna, and it's going to light it up, which you've already done for us. Is that that? What are you talking about there, Michael? Spirit, can you please come forward? If you don't want to communicate through the devices, if you can communicate by physical touch, or you can communicate through the mobile app devices. The wind is picking up like crazy, guys. It's horrendous. Spirit, please can you touch the device for us, please? I don't want to call you Spirit. If you can let us know who we're talking to through, by any chance, that would be greatly appreciated. Earlier on we saw a man that looked like a lumberjack. If that's you, can you come touch this device for us, please? What, Michael? Okay. Alright. Spirit, if you could please come up closer and touch this device for us. Alice Nutter, if this is you, can you come forward and touch this device for us, please? Alison Device, if this is you, can you please come and touch this device? Okay. Anne Redfern, if it's you, can you come touch the device? Or maybe you want to communicate for a different way. If that's the case, please let us know just by touching the device. Maybe you don't want us here. If you don't want us here and you want us to leave, please touch the device and we will happily leave. Footsteps. Yeah, I just said it when we go and check that out over there. You alright, Michael? Finally, the fire is starting to build its way back up. Huh?
Warmer, isn't it?
Tell you what, Spirit, let's do an EVP. Let's see if we can communicate through that device and let us know your story.
Okay, please touch the red pod if you're okay with us asking questions. Is this one of the Pendle Witches? Please touch the wire to communicate.
Pardon me. Is it just me? I think like you been growling, you know, behind us.
He was just like zoned out then.
Okay. EVP is now recording.
If there's any spirits here, my name's Joanne. Can you tell me your name?
Is there any of the Pendle Witches in with us tonight?
Are you okay with us being here tonight?
Could you give us your name, please? Stop an EVP. Guys, just a bit of an update. There was nothing on the EVP, unfortunately, so what we're going to do is we're backing up and we're going to move to spot number 2 of tonight's Halloween special at Pendle Hill. Right guys, so we are currently here at spot number 2, which is St Mary's Church here in Newchurch, and we are here to do 2 EVPs. What is supporting us, either Alice Nutter's grave or Dendyke's grave. Let's see what we get. Okay, put the EVP down. Let's go around asking questions. I'll start first. Alice Nutter, this is your grave. Please speak through this device to let us know how you want to communicate.
Do you like us being here?
Would you like us to leave this place?
You let to rest here.
Would you like to speak to us at the quarry later?
EVP replay.
Now, let's go around asking questions. I'll start first. Alice Nutter, this is your grave. Please speak through this device to let us know how you want to communicate.
Do you like us being here?
Like us to leave this place?
Do you let to rest here? Would you like to speak to us at the quarry later?
I thought I heard on Michael's first question a very faint yeah. I don't know if it's playing minds on there, but it sounded like yeah. Really faint though. Right,
Let's do.
why don't you do a proper EVP?
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah.
With the EV. Have you got that?
Yeah.
Or have you just got your...
No. Right, let's do one normal EVP and then we're going to head over to the quarry. So we've just been doing some silent pics. That don't make any sense, does it? Some random photos. Look at that right there. I'll circle that. One there and one there. Wow, some great captures. Now let's do the normal EVP. So we're going to do a silent EVP. Just placing this device down on here, just so you know. Okay, I'm going to stop the EVP. Okay, let's listen back to this EVP.
Just placing this device down on here, just so you know.
Any other movements or sounds is not us. It's wind. That's wind. It's chocolate.
Okay, I'm going to stop the EVP.
I don't know if you heard anything, but we didn't. Foot right off. Oh my god. Another random photo. And oh my god, I'm so sorry. Holy shit. Oh my god. It's rain. And oh my god. Right guys, so we have reached our final destination for tonight's video Halloween special. We have hit the quarry. It's called the Quarry. The quarry is just a bunch of rocks. It's just overgrown. Just but the backstory to the quarry is basically this is where we believed that Dem Dyke came here to communicate and do her deals with the devil. Now this is where we're spending our last part of tonight's Halloween special. Right guys, we are finally set up here in the quarry and I just completely forgot what I was going to say. Let's go through the equipment for this final part of tonight's video. We have, there we go, got a REM pod again, go near it, it's going to set off like that. What else do we have? We have, that's not you at all actually. Why is it doing that as soon as I'm about to go near it?
That's not me.
That's not you at all. Okay, behind Michael. Oh, what the fuck? Okay, right, so this is where we are. That's a music box. If anything goes in front of the sensor, which is facing over there, it's going to go off. It's going to detect and play sounds as you can hear. Can you just point your torch at that? Oh,
No,
that's not you at all.
it's not me at all.
So we are currently going through the equipment and stuff's already happening. We're also going to do a EVP session later on. The hell? EVP session later on, along with an Estes method. And Michael also has Paratech open. Don't know what Paratech is. It's just that it's a word generator, and the words are meant to come up. Whatever comes out is meant to basically come through related to, the location, stuff like that that you are at. And there is another music box behind him, facing over there. Right.
Pardon me, I've got a very bad cold. Let's get straight into tonight's final party and the investigation, and I can't speak. Well, no it's not. Just click record again. Music box is still going off. Paul looks very cold. That was me, that's me.
Alright, Paul.
What shall we wait for? Train. Tray. Spirit, is there any spirits here that would like to communicate? Can you please come forward?
That's not me, I've been turned around.
Thank you, Spirit. Yes, it is strange. Can you set that device on again? Can you please set that device off again for us, please? Float. Fuck off. That's the question. Spirit.
It's damn dark here.
Oh. You asked the question, not me. Fuck off. Dog. In the story, obviously black dog.
Target. Who's your target?
Target? Oh wow. Paratech is kind of linking up. Oh wow, okay.
That was yours for.
Bizarre.
I've got pot.
Teaching. Oh, music box has gone off again.
Is it like teaching or like trying to say teaching a lesson?
Do you want just to debunk? I know it's not you. Can you put it just at the edge of the rock, please? What's it said?
AIDS.
AIDS. Yes, that's perfect. Thank you very much.
Street. Target. Street.
Oh, I think your torch is blinding, Paul.
Oh, sorry, Paul. If there's any spirits who would like to talk to us, please can you come forward? Did you tell us your name?
Torch. There you go. Billoway. Oh. Does anyone know what that means? Billoway.
Bellaway.
Billoway. Like B. Ultimately. Oh, drop that. Attorney. Wait, they must have had
An attorney.
an attorney at the witch trials now. Unless I don't know if that were a thing, you know, with the witches. Are you telling us that you should have had an attorney?
What's more than American?
Did you hear something then?
No. Can you just actually turn that torch?
It's not my torch.
Oh, whose torch is that?
Mine. My torch touching that.
No, I'm on to this camera. It's flashing on it, that's all.
Fucking move your torch. I'm joking.
Location?
You know.
Do you know where you are? Spirit, do you know where you are? My God. And as you can see, guys, you know. No.
Yes, where would you know where you are?
Unlikely.
Shall we try and
Sure.
move it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Disaster.
Where shall we put it?
A little bit of a hill there.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
That, you know what? That could be grass movement on that. Yeah.
Well, why don't you move?
What?
What's there?
What happened? Oh my God, it scared me.
Move that music box. Swap them.
Yeah. That's the music that everyone plays, guys.
My jam. get down once this rock now.
Jump into it.
Spirit, can you go and touch another device for us, please?
Touch this RAM pod over here, because that's not getting any sort at all.
Can you touch this device here? If you step in front of it, touch this device. It's gonna interact like that. That could be you, that. That's calibrated now. Now we'll find out. Come on, Spirit, can you come closer? What?
Slave.
Slave. Was you slaved to death?
Was you a slave?
If this is Demdike, can you set up a piece of equipment, please? Demdike, if you want to communicate. Look in the sky. No, that's too fast to be a plane. That's way too fast to be a plane.
No, might be a jet. Message.
Message.
What's your message?
Sorry, guys.
What message have you got for us?
I suppose that RAM pod hasn't gone off yet.
It's really hard work for it to go off, is that one?
Oh, is that the new one?
It's the new one, yeah.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, that one
Oh,
got
guys.
No. Apart from a few times, well, a few little bleeps
The
before I
message
locations.
they want to give us is gullible.
Gullible. Are you gullible? Spirit? Are you scared? If you're not scared, can you prove it and touch a piece of equipment, please?
No, it's gone.
Unless you're calling us gullible. Huh? Cabbage.
Cabbage, colourful, and everybody. Do you mean everybody's gullible?
What do you mean? It's a colourful.
CEO?
CEO.
Who's CEO?
Oh shit! No, you know that's been switched out for what? A few minutes now. Yeah, it's not gone off once until now.
It's not from what we set it up because
That's right behind you.
facing the
Oh my god!
world.
Did you hear that? What the hell was that?
Like a deep thud, wasn't it? Is that what you heard?
Yeah, I did. Right behind me. Boom. Sorry, Paul.
No, what you heard?
Slap.
Who would you like to slap?
To boom. To boom.
Taboo.
Taboo.
Oh my. I thought I said to boom like
Witchcraft. Very taboo.
taboo. Witchcraft.
Right,
Yeah.
Man, you want to slap one of the men? Okay.
That's
Yeah.
fine. Go for
Because
Right, if we
sorry.
give you our names, we'll
Sorry.
Which one?
Sorry.
Would you like to slap me?
Slap Michael.
Slap Paul?
Slap Paul.
Slap Leighton?
Slap Leighton.
I won't slap him back and slap.
I don't know why I asked my old.
it. Smoke.
Smoke.
Stroke.
Smoke and stroke.
So you smoke and you want to get slapped.
So she getting slapped.
Bring it on.
You. How do you feel about being threatened?
Kind of a turn on.
Well,
Just a command.
I command you to slap Paul. Paul like hell no.
I command you as a female,
My stomach.
what?
Just got pain in my stomach then.
Michael.
Honestly,
You know what else I've just got?
what?
Whip.
Sorry?
Kicky sod here, isn't
Yeah, there is.
Slapping, stroking, whipping.
No, I was only messing when I said it was kind of a turn on.
Sounds like a decent Saturday night to me.
Repeat yourself.
It sounds like a decent Saturday night.
Repeat yourself.
No.
You used to slap people and whack and whip people.
There you go, man. Rake.
Oh,
Go through that.
I mean, you can say that word on YouTube. Jesus.
Damn it,
person at my front door.
I'll go milk it then.
It's a person at the front. Sorry, it came through. It's a person at the front door.
Who the hell at your front door at this time?
It's a bit walking.
Looks like he wants to whip you with a rake.
What attention do you want?
I like it how I haven't got any, anything. I don't have anything on me. It's just you and you and you. Oh, shit. No. He moved before and he didn't go off.
I mean, it's just...
Oh, music box again. It's behind you. Potentially he wants to slap you, whip you,
Oh,
rake you. Hey, no, that just proves that he don't just go off for anything. Here, right here.
Just randomly right in front of it.
What's
Yeah, the bag's in front of the music box.
Could you tell us what's important, please?
Gonna put that
You're
bag up.
telling us something's important.
Thank you. Position.
He wants me to position
Sorry?
myself to get slapped.
Well, I got important, you got position, so... it might be
Important
something
position.
in important
But didn't yours also come through seeing CEO?
Yeah,
So this could, yeah, an important person,
yeah. Could you tell us your name, please?
That's who I am.
My name's
yeah.
Joanne.
Meaty.
What's yours?
M-E-A-T-Y.
Meaty? Sorry. Hang on a
One of us
minute.
then.
Oh, my phone is on 10%.
But now we're in it down.
It's alright, guys. Realise it's not Paul. Because he's not Meaty.
The question is, which one is he? Nippy. It is a
It is a bit nippy, yeah.
Yeah, it is a bit nippy.
Guys, if you see the phone fall to the floor,
It's because I've been
Contract. You've been giving contracts out, so it's fucking you.
No.
Fuck off. Fuck off. No, that's a clarification, no?
Observation.
Contract could mean something else.
would you like?
The witches had a contract with the devil, didn't they?
Oh, Dem Dyke, yeah, of course, Dem Dyke. Oh, fuck off.
Colossal.
Meet us again.
It's old Dem
Would
Dark
you
here.
please go off if you want Leighton to swap places so you can slap him?
If I actually get slapped, then.
What you do with him when off, you'll be silly.
No. Oh,
There you go.
fuck off.
Go on.
Nope. Not doing
Want
that.
you?
Nope. You're not slapping me.
Light.
I don't give you any consent to slap me.
Lights just come up white and you got the light.
Diversity.
I do have the light. I'm sorry, but I don't give you any consent to slap me. And if you do, then I'll vanish you. Do you understand? I won't do that because I don't know how to do that. But otherwise, you have to stand up for yourself in this day and age. Whether you're lying out.
Could you tell us your name?
Far?
His name's Bar.
Far.
Chat.
Need your box again.
Why me? Are you upset that I'm standing here?
Chairman.
German.
Chairman.
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 Chairman, that's another important person. Again? Going off again. Alright. Potentially,
Don't play with something else.
potentially why don't you maybe stand over here? A bit.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah, Michael, you stand here and I'll sit on that rock there.
okay. Let's do this.
That's not me.
Need your box
You
once
just
again.
got the- the washing tissue.
Paul has lost his tissue. Subdued.
Talking to someone who's higher up.
Again. You know, the fact. No, I think it's kind of the fact that we've actually switched the REM pods about to make it. It's even more impressive.
You right, John?
You right?
Yeah.
Again.
Ragged.
Right, Spirit, come on, come closer now.
What did you use there?
Cross.
Cross, maybe they cross.
Chairman and so.
Are you a very important? Oh, just let me finish the question, son.
Connor.
Connor.
John Connor.
as I was saying, I think it's quite impressive the fact that we've actually switched them about as well. Capital. It is actually, to be fair. Again, what the hell? Should we put another REM pod there? Yeah. Switch them out. Shall we do that?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Shall we put the new REM pod there?
If it's gonna go off, it's gonna fucking go off, innit?
Can you switch them for me, please? Oh, never mind. That's me, Barbara. There you go, I'll take it.
Yes.
Yeah, pause, switching the music box for the REM pod.
Destroy.
You can turn it off if you want. It's at the other side, other side. Oh no, it's not, never mind. Right side. Sorry, Paul.
Just careful.
SLS camera. So this picks up any figures that you can't see with the naked eye. So then I pick up that, like this figure of that little disorder.
Paul?
I mean,
Oh, you can't.
sorry, what?
Nobody will be able to get hold of it. Anybody get hold of that stick there?
Disorder.
Break it.
Disorder.
There's a big dip though, Paul. You might not be able to do it.
Right guys, well if this video isn't out by the 27th of October, then you know why.
There's a big hole there, Paul. Okay.
And now he's going to sell me on the market. Sorry?
Why am I snapping it off?
Because
Oh,
that's it. Thank you, just leave it there. Mate.
just so we can debunk this thing with the SLS.
Are you alright there? Don't want to get, oh, yeah, get over. It'll mark up, love. Thank you.
Red Bud! It actually went off.
Yeah, did it?
Yeah, no, he went off that.
That's what I heard, yeah.
About bloody time.
Man, do it again.
Can you touch that device again for us, please? Great hard impression there.
That's terrible.
I'll let you know.
I'll tell you what we'll do. Shall we do an Esther?
What about?
Go on, go on. Do you want to do an Esther?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Right, let's do an Esther Smith. Okay. We currently have Joanne under the Estes method.
Get off.
If you don't know what an Estes method is, use a white noise and
Come with me.
reverse sweep on the spirit box, and using headphones and a blindfold, spirits can use that to communicate. Do you want us to leave?
You better. Help me.
Music box.
Here we go.
Oh, here we fucking go. Music box has gone off.
What do you mean, here we go? You the one who wants to slap someone?
We want you to run.
Which two? Or do you want us to run?
How do you want us to run?
Leave with the leader. Objective,
Do you want them to leave with me? Why?
please.
Why?
You speak to the one who improved before sending him on a swap.
Amen.
Which one of us do you want to swap?
Get out of here.
Why? I want an answer. Please give me an answer of why we should leave.
Apparently.
Apparently what? Come on, Spirit, use your energy. Use the energy around you.
People come in. It'll surprise you.
Have these people passed?
4 of them.
That one's just picked up all of a sudden. Oh my god.
4 ladies.
4 ladies.
Yeah.
Fuck off. That's creepy as fuck.
The witches. The tried as witches.
Can you hear my voice?
No. Huh?
You said you had someone when Johnson they got that shot thing.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You said
yeah,
you won.
yeah. Oh yeah, I did. Do you want us to leave now? We want to really know what happened here. Whether Den Dyke is as dangerous as she says she is. Can you inform us about any truth?
Four packets.
Sorry. Can't do your shopping, love. I'm the joking spirit.
Was it your voice in there tonight?
Thank you.
What are you thankful for?
Disturbance.
You're thankful for disturbance.
You might have thankful that we were talking to.
Thank you for communicating with us, spirit.
There's a different spirit trying to talk.
You're welcome.
Can you give us a name, please? What's your name?
Run now.
Run now. Can you give us your name or even just your age, please? So we can figure out who we're communicating with. Okay, spirit. I'm going to take out Joanne.
3.
I'm going to take Joanne out of the Sinister method now as the 5-minute time is done. Thank you for communicating.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Right guys, so to finish off tonight's Halloween special here at Pendle Hill, we are going to finish it off with an Ouija board session. Now, I just want to put these out there. Do not try these at home unless you know how to open them, to close them, to do all sorts of... There's a lot that goes into making sure you can close one of these down properly. Yeah, that is the right word. So please do not even attempt to use one unless you are with, I would say, a trained professional. Now let's do the Ouija board.
They're not a toy.
What are we doing, a circle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, there's only 2. Is anybody here? Does anybody want to communicate with us? Go to yes or go to no.
It's coming, slowly. Yes.
Thank you. Could you spell your name out, please?
S. Fuck off. Don't do it. Don't do it.
We'll get to the last letter.
No, no.
Yeah.
T.
Just say bye quick.
Right, no. Quick. No, take it down.
Right.
Right, guys. So that concludes our Halloween special to Pendle Hill. Yeah, great location, great history, and overall, great investigation. Remember, have a great Halloween. I'm Leighton.
I'm Paul.
I'm Joanne.
Michael.
And we're outside the bogs waiting for the taxi. See you later.
Happy spooky dooky Halloween.